everyone. Hi, dear Toastmasters, and it is my pleasure. Actually, that is my comfort zone. Okay, so it's my pleasure to be your Toastmaster of the day for the meeting 124. And today's theme of the day is habit stacking, and the word of the day is perseverance. So, before I get into the next session, let me ask you a few questions. Is there anyone here who has not taken a resolution during your maybe New Year or during the beginning of the month or every Mondays? You have not taken, but others have taken, right? Okay. Now, have you ever heard about 75 Hard? It's a challenge. Okay, it is very viral and trending in the social medias. It's kind of a mental toughness challenge. This helps you to build discipline, mental toughness, and habits. Have you heard about that? Yes. Okay, so those who have not heard about it, it's actually a 75-day challenge where you will have to practice 5 habits. All right, and you have to continue the whole 75 days. You should not even have one day break. If you break for one day, you have to again start from the first day. Simple, right? Now, let me explain to you what are these 5 habits. 1, you have to do 2 types of exercise. 1 indoor and 1 outdoor every day. 2, you have to drink 3 to 4 liters of water. 3, you have to read 10 pages every day. And 4, you should not have a cheat day. The diet should be proper, no alcohol. And 5, take a progress selfie every day. Isn't it simple? Right? No dears, it's not. I started this challenge in November and I'm still continuing it. So I break it either on my 20th day or 40th day or even 60th day I had to break. So I'm still continuing it without even able to complete a 75 days challenge. Now, we take resolutions, we take the 75 hard challenge. Why we are not able to carry forward it or continue till the whole year? Why we are not able to do it? Do you know the reason? See, reasons are many. We cannot explain everything here. One is change. I mean, human mind is not very much adaptive to changes. So you have to get up early for jogging. So we are so comfortable sleeping till 8 o'clock. So the change, that is one thing. And second thing, specification. I need to reduce weight, but how? When? Where? No specification. So you just take a resolution, okay, I'll reduce 10 kgs, that's it. You cannot. Now, timeline. Without timeline, you cannot achieve a goal. So if you have to reduce 10 kgs, when? By when? March, April, May, June, you have to have a proper idea. Now, a goal itself, I need to reduce weight. For what? Do you want to look good? Do you want to be like more healthy? Or do you want to fit into your favorite t-shirt? So you should have an idea why you need to reduce weight. So these are all are main reasons why we are not able to continue with these challenges or habits. The most important thing is consistency, persistence, and perseverance. If we don't have that, we cannot continue any habits. Now, there is a beautiful strategy to build habit. That is what is habit stacking. So what is habit stacking? It is stacking a new habit on top of an existing habit and leveraging this existing habit to be the trigger or a foundation for the new habit. For example, I'll tell you how it is. An old habit, take an old habit like brushing or making your bed. You do that every day, right? Now, add a new habit on that. For example, while brushing, you ensure you're flossing or tongue cleaning. Or you do a meditation when just after you're done with your bed. So that is something which you can do, right? Now, add a new habit on top of it. And you ensure when you add this habit, these both habits, you're doing it together. Don't wait for another time. So just after you're brushing, you do the flossing. Just after you're done with your bed, you do a 5 minutes of meditation. So you're bringing new habits, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is taking new habits is not very easy, neither difficult. What you have to do is start slow, but build efficiently. All right, and you have to ensure one more thing: whatever the habits you're building, it should be achievable and meaningful to you. All right, please remember consistency, persistence, and perseverance. All right. So let me go to the next session. Before that, let me introduce the role players. General evaluator, I invite Mr. Akash. Akash is from Trivandrum Toastmasters. He works in US, but he often visits Trivandrum. He is a football player, he reads a lot, and he is an cooking lover. So please welcome Akash.
Thank you very much. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I think most of you know me, I know most of you. So it's my pleasure to be your general evaluator for the day. For the new members, my job today is to evaluate the entire meeting and to provide feedback where I deem it to be necessary. So typically in my job, I have two teams. One is a tag team, which I'm not sure is relevant today. And the second team is a team of evaluators, which is entirely taken up by just one person, that's Maria. Okay, fine, we'll see how that goes. So I will be looking at everything that happens during this meeting, and I will be presenting to you my thoughts and areas of improvement at the end of the meeting in my report. So that's all. Handing it back to the Toastmaster.
Mr. Akash. So now let's move to the next session. We are going to start the session on prepared speeches. We all know that prepared speeches are where Toastmasters practice and perform the delivery of a prepared speech in front of an audience. So now today's speaker, one is TM Jasna Rafiq. No, sorry, Bala. We have Bala. The first speaker is Bala. Before that, the evaluator of the speech is Maria. Maria is John. Yes, I'm online. Okay. Let me introduce Maria. So Maria is an associate product manager at H&R Block. She is a proud member of H&R Block Toastmasters since the past 5 years. She is an ardent bibliophile and a bigger book hoarder. So I welcome Maria to give the objective of the evaluation.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. So today, the speaker of the day, Bala, is going to attempt his speech. And the speech is all about mentorship, where he is going to share an aspect where he was the mentee or the protege. So the purpose of the speech is for Bala to share his experience when he was a mentee, also known as a protege. All the best, Toastmaster Bala, and over to you.
Thank you, Maria. So I welcome Toastmaster Bala to give his speech. Bala's speech today is, sorry, I can give you the title.
The laptop bag.
Laptop bag. Okay. So Toastmaster Bala, the laptop bag, Toastmaster Bala.
This was me in 2003, walking behind my boss. No, it was not my laptop bag. It was his laptop bag. Wherever I used to go with him, I used to carry his laptop bag. He will take me to client meetings. And my job was to take notes and simply sit there. He will do all the talking and I would just take notes. Once we come back to office, he will make all the presentations. He will send those presentations to me. Don't think that I had to add any slides. I just had to do the formatting, the color code changes. That's what I was supposed to do. As a business development professional, I was getting irritated. One day, I walked to him and I said, "Boss, I want to do something in business development." And he said, "What can you do in business development? You can just do formatting and take notes." I was a bit devastated and frustrated. I went back to my seat to think, what am I doing? This formatting I had done in my MBA. So what's the big deal? But with all perseverance, I thought I will go ahead and search for some other job. But it's not easy to get a job. It did take time. It took me almost 2 months to get another job. Finally, I could leave my boss number 1 and move to boss number 2. Boss number 2 was completely different. He called one day and said, let's go for a client meeting. And as was my habit, I suddenly went and tried to pick his bag. And he said, what are you doing? Do you think I cannot carry my bag? You just come with me. We went. And as usual at the client place, I was only taking notes. I was writing. I was not even looking at the client. After coming out, he said, you're a salesperson. You have to talk. I said, boss, yes, you have to understand what the client requires. Ask the right questions. Your job is not to take notes. I said, okay. The next meeting, I went and I asked a few questions. I was getting started, but he appreciated me. He commended me. And he said, those 3 questions were good, but the 4th one was irrelevant. You should ask it in this way. I was getting better with each client meeting. I was going with more confidence and more energy. I was loving meeting clients. What used to be a nightmare with my boss number 1 was suddenly changing into a matter of joy for me. I was loving it. Then one day we went to a client. The client said, this is my requirement. Can you give us a proposal by next Monday? Remember, it was on a Monday. We had exactly 1 week. As we came back to office, my boss told me, you make that presentation. I was stunned. I was happy, but at the same moment, I was nervous. How can I make a presentation that also a proposal to a client? I told boss, how do I make the presentation? To which my new boss said, Bala, you have to get started somewhere. If not now, then when? That's what he asked. I went back to my seat. There was one of my colleagues sitting with me. And I asked him, how can I do it? He said, okay, you start with what is the requirement of the client. The client is today at a level and he aspires to go to the next level. That is the opportunity. Build upon that. Bring in the right solution. Bring in the business case. And what business case? Business case means the client is spending so much today. You have to bring it down so that the client sees value. And finally, why should any client buy from you? Put this in a presentation. I started. And every day, my new boss would come to me and see what I was doing. And he will give me some feedbacks. Then it went on. My presentation was getting better day by day. From Monday to Tuesday, it went on till Friday. On Friday, my boss came to me and said, I would want to review the presentation. He reviewed it. He gave some feedback. 1, 2, 3 is okay. 3, 4, 5, not okay. You have to change it. 7, 8 slide is not required. Remove it. But that was constructive feedback. Then on Monday, he asked me to send it to the client. And he told me that you will present to the client. I'll be there, but you take the lead. That day, I understood what a mentor is. Every boss cannot be a mentor. Sometimes bosses are different, mentors are different. Look for the mentor in your life, in your workplace. Because if you just have a boss who is not a mentor, who is not making you grow, then you're at the wrong place. Whether it's in personal life or professional life, look at the mentor who will make you grow. Otherwise, you will carry somebody else's laptop bag, not your own laptop bag. What do you think?
Thank you, Bala. So we have the next speaker, Jasna Rafiq. The evaluator for the speech is DTM Susan Matthews. So we all know her. She's a seasoned Toastmaster who believes success is being at peace with oneself and others. I would like to invite DTM Susan Matthews to share the objectives of the speech.
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening. My speaker today is speaking from the path Engaging Humor, Level 1, Project 3. And the purpose of this project is for the member to learn and review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. So her project is going to be on researching and presenting. So all the very best to the speaker, Jasna, and back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Susan Matthews. Now I would like to invite the speaker, Toastmaster Jasna Rafiq. So a small intro about her. Jasna is the Chief Operating Officer at Pick Solution. Along with her 15 plus years of experience in the IT industry, she enjoys all extracurriculars, be it arts or sports. She is a big fan of romantic novels and is very passionate about traveling and exploring new places. TM Jasna Rafiq, light at the end of the tunnel. Light at the end of the tunnel, Jasna Rafiq.
Not everyone is blessed. Not everyone is gifted also. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, the fact that you're here today, hale and hearty, means that you're a fortunate group. Have you ever thought about yourself in that way? Have you ever thought that you're fortunate, that you're healthy, that you're able to go to office, that you're having a family and you're able to do things for them? If you've not thought in that direction, I think my story will at least inspire you to think that way. 2 weeks back, one of my husband's friend called in and he said, we have a meeting at RCC and I'd like you to join. Since he was not available, I stepped in. Always any opportunity that's available, I try to take it. So I jumped in for that. I didn't know too many details about the meeting because it was them both talking and he was very busy and I was very busy. So I didn't ask anything specific. But I knew it was RCC, so I was going to face something. That was already there in my head. The day came finally and I went to the venue. There was a contact number of a particular doctor in there. So once I reached there, he said, come to the pediatric oncology department of RCC. So that's when I realized, oh my God, so this is a little bit more scarier than what I thought. I'm going to see kids. I went down to where to the specific spot that he mentioned, down a flight of stairs, and I saw him. He gave me a hand. And then after that, he said, okay, why don't you switch your sandals with a pair of slippers that's lying over there? So I switched to the slippers that he gave. And he took me to this very big hall, which is at least half the size of this office, literally a very big hall. And I saw that there were also many other members in the group. There were many CEOs from different companies. There were people from the NASCOM group and so on and so forth. So around 20 to 30 people were already there. And some other doctors were showing the place. As I walked in, the first thing I saw was these people, but to my left, there was a nursing station with nurses smiling. So I smiled back. And then to my right, oh my God, there were all these beds, a lot of small children lying on it, children between the age of 0 to 14, many of them somewhere around the age of 5 to 7. All of them were lying in a tilted direction. They were not lying straight. At least 90% of them that I saw were in a tilted direction, and all of them had their hands somewhere near to their legs, and in the hand there was a cannula. First thing that I saw was these cannulas, and I was a little taken aback because I remembered the time when I had to stay in hospital and then get out, and then I saw these small kids lying over there with these cannulas in them. Right next to them, all of these people had their mother sitting by their side. So this emotional scene was something I thought, like, if I keep looking at it, my own emotions will start to play. So I switched away and I looked at the people who were there and I just listened to the doctors. But then they started taking us through the room, through the floor, and they took us to one side of the wall and they showed us, can you see the paint? See, it's all shabby over there. There are all moles over there. This is because we don't have the fund to repaint. So they tell us that this area, which is a pediatric department, which was tiled when we painted, when it was started, is now full of white paint that is almost a little shabby and yellow and with moles everywhere. And they don't have the funds to repaint it. So second time they had to paint it in white. And that was like 5 or 6 years ago. The next thing that they tell us is the situation of the air condition. When a patient undergoes chemo and they are brought out, they are actually supposed to be placed under 16 to 18 degrees. This whole place, this big hall, had no air condition. Nothing at all. You know the temperature in Kerala, right now it's somewhere around 34. So once you are in that place, you're literally sweating and you see all these kids there and you know that, okay, they are not in the right situation right now. The next point, we started talking about equipments. Each kid who needs to undergo treatment needs around 6 infusion pumps per kid. The total number of beds in that place is 43. And I asked them, so what is the total of infusion pumps? They said, we have a shortage of infusion pumps. So I said, ma'am, so like, what is the total that you have right now? She said, we had a lot, but then there were damages and all that. And she said, we have around 16 now. And I was taken aback. 43 kids, there were like 2 or 3 beds that were vacant, but all the others were filled. And each kid needed 6 infusion pumps and all they had was a total of 16. After that, they took us out from that room and then again took us one by one to the treatment room, to the room that was a play area before, which is not a play area anymore because they didn't have enough space, to a dilapidated conference room, which was in another situation and so on and so forth. Then they took us to another meeting room and they said, this was the first side of the story. Now you need to hear the second side of the story. That is, we have a lot of emergency patients that come in every day. The number goes up higher and higher. And for all these emergency patients, they need this treatment starts with 3 injections. 1 injection costing 10,000. 3 injections on 3 consecutive days. So total of 30,000, many people who don't have funds, it was a mess. So they showed us a list of charts and plots and they told us around 5 lakhs is given by the government, which takes a long time to be brought in. And then there are some subsidies that are like around 3 lakhs, but even that takes a long time. So literally they're short of funds. I came back after all this and I thought, how can we be of help? We, the techie community, we can do something about it. I mean, like so many people in here, even if you do a crowdfunding, it is like 100 per person. That's still a lot of money. So after thinking again and again, I talked to the Avishkar team here, which is the PITS creative team, and they told me about the painting competition that was going to happen. So one thing that struck my mind is, let's maybe, pitch in together and try to help paint their walls. At least we're doing something. So to conclude, there are a lot of people around us who need help. And we should be aware of that. And maybe we should do a little bit as techies to see whether we can help this community and shed some light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jasna. We have the third speaker, Toastmaster Chris. Chris, he's a research student currently pursuing Masters in Finance at Kerala University. He loves money and traveling to new places, and everywhere he goes and he talks about money. He takes every experience as a lesson for a better future. Toastmaster Chris, stop owning, start giving. So the evaluator is Toastmaster Maria. I have already given an introduction about Toastmaster Maria. So Maria, will you please explain the objective of the...
Thank you, Justine. So, hello everyone. Welcome back. So, this time I'm going to be the evaluator for Toastmaster Chris, whose path is L1 P3 in leadership development. Now, this is a speech where he has to focus on the vocal variety and body language. So, along with the structure of the speech, Chris has to focus on the vocal variety and the body language throughout his speech. So, stop owning, start giving. All the best, Toastmaster Chris. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Maria. So we have Toastmaster Chris, stop owning, start giving. Stop owning, start giving, Toastmaster Chris.
Stop owning, start giving. Oh, sorry. I meant stop owning the money and give me some money. Okay, okay. I'm going to collect my dues after this meeting. And I know I'm going to be a rich man after this speech. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and our guest today. I am a finance student, and the first thing they teach us in class are the principles of financial management. So they will come in class and say, "Good morning, class. So today we are going to learn about financial management, the principles." So my very good professor, Vasanta Gopal, wrote some 6-letter word on the board. G, I, V, I, N, G. Any smart listener? What have I just written?
Giving.
Correct. You are listening. Yes, giving. And the next thing you say, class dismissed. So we were all wondering, which kind of class is this? What is the meaning of this? I later came to realize that it doesn't end at giving. The true principle of financial management starts by giving. When you give your finance through investment, you gain what you call leverage. Now, when you leverage your finance, you leverage it through treasury bills, treasury bonds, stocks, and other government securities. Now, we have two kinds of people. I'm still talking about finance. We have the owners and we have the givers. Now, who are the owners? The owners are this kind of people who likes owning things. Actually, they like owning money. Not only money, but things. Now we'll talk about money. They will collect large sums of money, keep them somewhere in a bank, and store them there for so many years. Then they will come after some time to collect the same money they deposited. Now we have givers. Givers, they invest their money in treasury bills and investment. So after some time, there's what you call time value of money. Their money will have appreciated to a certain level. So we have owners and givers. And I realized that life itself is working in the same principles of ownership and giving. Now think about life as a pipe flowing with water from upstream all the way to downstream. Now, what happens when there's a blockage in the pipe? When there's a blockage, the water stops flowing, right? So when the water stops flowing, it means the downstream, there's no any flowing in the downstream. Now, the owners, they keep the blockage in the pipe, while the givers allows the flow to continue. They have received enough wealth and they are able to share the excess they have with the less fortunate. They have received enough that they can consume for themselves, but they allow whatever they have received to flow through them to other people. That is how life works. Now, life is designed that everything is supposed to flow through you, not to you. Now, that is a very deep state. Think about, actually, God made you so that he can share his love with you. The same way, you normally give back to your children so that you can give your love to them. So that means love can only be shown by giving. Just as the way in finance, when you just keep your money somewhere and deposit it somewhere and store it for the unknown future, it doesn't add any value. But the moment you think about investing into something, then the money gets the value and you're able to get more reward. So the more you give, the more you get the reward. That is the principle of life. Now, those who are the owners, when you own something that is all you have, you strict yourself that. But when you start giving something, it means you are expecting something more. So it means your pipe is free. Whatever you have, you can be shared with the less fortunate. And your pipe is able to flow because everything is supposed to flow through you. You are not supposed to own things. That's why I'm saying today you stop owning and you start giving. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chris. That was a valuable insight. Now, I invite Toastmaster Justin for the next speech. Before that, I invite Toastmaster Thanas to give the objective of the speech. Good evening. Toastmaster Justin, our fourth speaker, he is doing his level 3 project 1 in innovative planning. His title is How Good Is Your English? The objective of the speech, he has to present a speech which shows practice in developing and presenting a proposal. It should be well organized. It should include, it can include humor, information, or it can be of any style. It can also include, it can also be an area that can be personal, that is also can be professional, or can be part of his Toastmaster journey. That is all. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, Toastmaster Thanas. I invite Toastmaster Justin. How good is your English? How good is your English, Toastmaster Justin?
A few years back, I was sitting in my office Odyssey. A couple of seats away, I heard the desk phone ringing. So my friend Sugan picked up the phone. And somebody from the other side asked, "Where is Mukesh?" Sugan suddenly said, "Mukesh is no more." The entire Odyssey was shocked for a few seconds because he was saying in a very loud voice and there was a pin drop silence. Suddenly he understood his mistake and said, no, I'm sorry, what I meant is Mukesh is on leave for a few days and he's not available at the moment. I'm sure the person on the other side of the phone also would have got stunned for a few seconds. So this is a perfect example where an inappropriate usage of English can land us into ridiculous situation. And the fact that Sugandh was a very senior researcher. This is a real incident. I have slightly changed the names to, to protect the names. Okay, protect their identity. So the question I would like to ask each one of you is how good is your English? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So English has truly become a global language nowadays, and your ability to speak English has the ability to make or break your career. How many times you see that somebody is good in English get easily promoted in your office, right? So what is and we all like to have good English. We work on it, but year after year there is no progress and we get frustrated. So what is that we need to do to make English better? A few years back, our Trivandrum MD Shashi Tharoor was in TCS office. We all know how good he is in English, right? So because of him, we got introduced to so many wonderful words in English. One thing one word I noticed from him is hippopotamonstrosesquilopedalophobia. Does anyone know the meaning of that? That means it is the fear of long words. So somebody asked Shashi Tharoor, sir, why is that Keralites are not very good in English? So he said, see, to become better in any language, you need to have constant exposure to the language. All right? In Kerala, we don't read English newspapers, we don't watch English TV channels, and we don't read English books. How can we expect people to become better in English? So that answer explains the reason why our English is not improving year after year. We need to make English part of our daily routine, right? So let us create a proposal today how we can improve English in the next 6 months. So this proposal revolves around 3 action items. Okay, one is daily commitment. Second one is improving your vocabulary and pronunciation, and third is practicing regularly. So regarding commitment, you need to decide that no matter how busy you are going to spend at least 15 minutes of your day to work on your English. Unless the commitment is not there, you are not going to bring in any results. Second one is vocabulary and pronunciation. And what is the good vocabulary? How many words you need to know to become a good speaker? Any idea? To be a professional in English, you need to know around 5,000 words. Okay, and I am sure most of us don't have that kind of vocabulary, right? And we need to reach that level. You need to learn at least 5 words a day, and 1 word per Toastmaster is not enough. Okay, that is not going to get you anywhere. And I had a friend who was excellent in English, and I asked him how he developed that. He said he had the habit of reading books, especially novels, and he can read a novel this much thick in 1 day. And I asked him, how is that possible? For me, it will take 2-3 weeks time. He said, over a period of time, these people will develop the skill of speed reading. Speed reading is the ability where you can scan a paragraph and you can understand the meaning without reading word by word. And this speed reading is widely tested in examinations like MBA, right? Because as a manager, you are bombarded with a lot of information, right, from everywhere. And as a manager, you need to make sense of what is in front of you, quickly grasp it, and then make decisions. And if you are interested in developing a reading habit, there is a wonderful app called Kindle. How many of you use Kindle? Okay. So Kindle is a small app, reading app you can install in your mobile. It has a lot of wonderful features. One is that it has a lot of free books. Okay, if you take a 150 rupees monthly subscription, you get access to numerous books. And the best thing I like is that you can read a sample of every book free. Okay, you can read a few chapters. If you like it, you can go out and buy it. And if you are intent on improving your vocabulary, you can click on a word and it will show the meaning of the word. And if you need, you can highlight the word so that you can come back later and revisit. So I would recommend each one of you to start using Kindle, and if you are the kind of person who is more comfortable with printed books, that is also perfectly fine. I studied in English medium school, and my English was average when I completed my studies. Okay, and I have met with a lot of frustrations while trying to improve my English. One example is I studied for some MBA exams. I learned hundreds of words. This improved my vocabulary immensely. I thought my English was going to skyrocket from that point onwards. But what happened is that even though I knew numerous words, nothing came to my disposal when I started to begin any kind of conversation. So then when I understood that there is something called reading vocabulary and speaking vocabulary. Right? If you have a good reading vocabulary, you can understand the meaning of the word. That does not mean that will come to your mind when you are speaking something. You have to convert your reading vocabulary into your speaking vocabulary, and that will only happen if you continuously reinforce the meaning of each word. Right? The next one is pronunciation. Pronunciation. Sometime back, my friend said he was going to Equity Bank. And I asked him, is it a new bank in the town? Equity Bank? No, he said it is an old bank. It is spelled ICICI, it seems. So this is a joke only, but this tells the importance of pronunciation. And English is in fact is a very tricky language. And recently I checked my pronunciation. 40% of my pronunciation is wrong. That I came to know recently. Now I look at the pronunciation of each word, because especially this I is very confusing. You can spell it in different things. That is pronunciation. Then is practice, right? So it is the best way to practice your English. Toastmasters. And I have seen people speaking English with each other when both are terrible, right? And then and they are going to learn from each other's mistakes. So that is not going to help us anyway. If you have to improve our English, you have to speak with someone better than us. Okay. So I think we have a plan for improving our English, daily commitment, working on our vocabulary and pronunciation, and practicing regularly. I will conclude with another story. I don't know whether it is a real story or not. This we used to tease one of our friends with this. Okay, so the project kickoff is happening. It is there are people from India and USA. Everyone is introducing themselves, and this guy introduced himself. He said, "My name is Neville." From the other side, somebody said, "Pardon." Okay, and this guy suddenly said, "Hello, Mr. Pardon." Over to those first.
So I'm sure that you all had a good laugh today. So one thing which he mentioned is about the practicing. So you can also take this as a habit stacking. You can, whatever you do, just ensure that you are learning at least 5 words, 5 vocabulary every day. But as I always mention, consistency, persistence, and perseverance is the key. I invite Toastmaster Shruti. Before that, I invite evaluator Toastmaster Maria. I have already introduced. Please give the objective of her speech.
I know you all might be thinking, this is the third time I'm seeing this lady on screen. Does she have no other job? Actually, this is something that I really, really love. And thank you, Dave, for this wonderful opportunity. And sorry, TM Modi, who has been repeating. I've already given her this introduction. So I know you've heard of double role. So today I'm having a triple role where I say I'm the evaluator for the third speaker, and that is Shruti. Shruti is also handling her level 1 in project 3, and that is also in innovative planning, which is on the focus of vocal variety and body language. So Toastmaster Shruti is going to deliver a speech, a structured speech, and the primary focus of my evaluation would be the vocal variety and the body language. All the very best, Toastmaster Shruti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Maria. So I welcome Toastmaster Shruti. Toastmaster Shruti, the flower girl. The flower girl, Toastmaster Shruti. Hello. Yes. What? Me? And what do I have to do? Oh. Okay.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. What comes to your mind when you hear the word flower girl? Anyone? Yes, precisely. The same thing came to my mind. Those cute little flower girls preceding the bride down the aisle in a wedding. The onus on a flower girl is to set the tone happy. However, in my life story, the definition of flower girl is twisted. Let me take you back to the time when I was pursuing first year of my BTech in Gurugram. One day, my hostel warden called me and my best friend. Hey, you both, precious, come to my room. We followed her and entered her room. You both, you're selected for a college NGO function. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. What do we have to do? Nothing much. Go on the stage and give the flower bouquet to the chief guest. Understood? That is it, ma'am. Yeah, one more thing. You must wear sari. You are the flower girls. Wow, flower girls. By this time, my other friend was already planning the color of his hair. I, however, asked one question to my warden ma'am. Ma'am, who is anchoring the event? These kids, Asim, Abhishek from Delhi Public School, Rayan International. Have you heard the name of the school? No, ma'am. Then what are you looking at my face? Go, arrange your sarees. Dejected, we exited her room. And I was thinking, of course, these kids are really talented. The command of English language, use of grammar, vocabulary that they have, I don't stand a chance in front of them. My anchoring experience of a small town school doesn't stand a chance. I think I should be happy as a flower girl. Few years later, I was now married, working in an IT organization in Kerala. One day, my team lead came up to me and she said, Shruti, we are having an upcoming client visit and we have put your name on a coordination team. Wow, I was ecstatic. I thought that I would be among those people who interact with the clients. They showcase the campus to them and also get a chance to go on a free dinner. Yeah. Hold your horses, I said to myself, and I asked my team lead, what do I have to do? Nothing much, Shruti. When the client comes to our work area, you have to put the garland in his neck and welcome him. And one more thing, please wear Kerala sari if you can. Wow. Dejected I was, but I thought to myself, I have only 2 years of work experience. I think these kind of activities are reserved for people who are more experienced in their career. I think I should be happy being a flower girl. A few more years later, I had now 8 years of work experience. I had joined a new IT organization and my new manager came up to me. Shruti, I want to talk to you something. We have an upcoming client visit. Oh, I hate client visits. And for the love of God, I don't want to be a flower girl or a flower auntie. I did not say all this to my manager. Rather, I calmed the noises in my head and I smiled and asked my manager, let me know, what can I do to support you? He continued and he said, see Shruti, this time it's going to be a huge event. Our client, Mr. Jacob, is going to donate the laptops fabricated in our own organization to the headmasters of various government schools. Wow, that is a great opportunity. I already imagined a big auditorium. Hence I asked him, sir, what do I have to do? Nothing much, Shruti. You have to go on the stage and hand over the laptop to Mr. Jacob. Wow. I've been promoted from a flower girl to a laptop lady. Dear Toastmasters, often in your life, you will be assigned few tasks which would match your expectation, which would not match your expectation. What would you do in such situation? You may have your self-worth at this level and you will be given some activities which will be way beyond your self-worth. How do you deal with the frustration of doing the same task again and again, which is way below your capability? I tried to solve this life problem by asking myself 2 questions. Question number 1. Did I ever communicate to anyone that I did not like being a flower girl? The answer is no. Question number 2. Did I always assume that there was someone more capable than me available to do the task? The answer is yes. Hence, I tried to solve this problem, life problem, with a framework which is called 2C framework: communication and collaboration. So this time I went on to my new manager and I told him that I was rather interested in coordinating or hosting the event. I did not get the chance this time. And hence, I still went onto the stage and gave the laptop to Mr. Jacob with a smile. But the very next time, I got an opportunity, which was a small one, but it did match my expectation. And slowly, people started understanding that what is my capability, and I started getting similar jobs. Dear Toastmasters, what I learned from this situation is that nobody is going to come and snatch away this flower from my hand and give me a mic and a stage. Rather, I must create opportunities while communicating to others that what I desire. I should break the shackles of my mediocrity and learn while collaborating with people who are better than me and talented than me. I should not get scared of those people, but rather make them my mentor and learn from them. Remember that every flower blooms in its own time, and so will you if you keep on trying. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shruti. That was a huge lessons we learn, and communication is the key. Yes. So we are moving to the next session. It is quiz. We have a quiz session. Quiz will keep it last. So now, okay. So we'll go for the evaluation. You can call this. Okay. So before we go to the evaluations, I just want to talk a few more sentences about the habit stacking. So that is the theme of the day today. So I just want to give you some examples. So I keep on talking about habit stacking. So I just want to give you some more examples so that maybe you can practice it or you can share it with your friends. For example, you wake up in the morning every day and before you get out of the bedroom, do some stretches. So that is possible. When you go to the mirror, when you brush, after that, do some mindfulness. So doing mindfulness is very important nowadays because you are thinking about yourself and you're giving yourself 2 minutes of time. So that is very important, that especially when you do it in the morning. Now, when you go to your office, you commute. Maybe you have to travel for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. You can use that time to learn a skill or do some kind of online courses. Just 15-20 minutes. You can do even that during your intervals during the session. Just not going out having chit chat and tea. You can use that time to have some kind of online sessions. When you go to washroom, come back and drink 2 glasses of water. You have to drink 3-4 liters of water every day, right? So like that, there are a lot of habits you can stack with your existing habits. Again, once again, consistency, persistence, and perseverance. Now I call upon evaluator, general evaluator Akash.
Good evening, Toastmasters. I can recall at least 3 people, saying good afternoon. Not sure why, but it's good evening. So without wasting a lot of time, let's get to the speech evaluations.
I want the time of the.
Okay, please, timer, go ahead.
So just tell the time taken by the speakers. Bala took 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Chris 7 minutes and 4 seconds. Jasna 6 minutes and 32 seconds. Justin 8 minutes and 17 seconds. Shruti 7 minutes and 24 seconds. Right.
Good job, timer. So let's go straight to the speech evaluation. Evaluating the first speech is evaluator Maria. She will be evaluating the first speaker, Bala, with the speech, the laptop bag. Maria, go ahead if you can. Can you spotlight?
Thank you. Am I audible? Am I visible?
Yes. Yes.
If not now, sorry. If not now, when? If not you, then who? Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and the target speaker for the day, Toastmaster Bala. That was a motivational, inspirational, and sensational speech straight out of your laptop bag. The journey from a frustrated employee to a person who loves his job, we all traveled along with that. And believe me, we are all happy for you. The delightful pieces in your speech was the head-turning introduction when you looked dejected and rejected carrying a laptop bag. The pitch-perfect vocal variety. It was his laptop bag that emphasized that, not mine, but his. You didn't like that his over there. When the vocal variety for your boss number one, when he was shouting at you, what can you do? That was just pure ridiculousness in his speech. The stage utilization between boss one and boss two was amazing. And the usage of words, devastated, frustrated, and so on and so forth. From the vantage point of an evaluator, let me give you a few points to carry out this laptop bag. Although you had amazing vocal variety, Toastmaster Bala, I would suggest that when you bring in another person or a third person character in your speech, it would be better to use a different pitch or a different accent so that we can differentiate, because your speech had three main characters. One was your boss number one, the boss number two, and then yourself. So you did show the boss number one and boss two and your boss one and yourself differentiation through the placement and a little bit of vocal variety. But if you could bring a different accent for boss number two, you could differentiate him too. Couple of grammatical errors, such as, this was done, the formatting. I used to do this formatting in my MBA. It could have been in my MBA classes or during my course of MBA. So that was one grammatical error. Or when the boss number two said, I would want to review this. Instead, it could be rephrased as, I would like to, or I want to review this. When you said that, don't think I did this, I was in charge of creating the PPT, it could be rephrased. No, I did not create the PPT. Same effect, but different verbiage. With that being said, in a nutshell, Toastmaster Bala, you had an amazing introduction, pitch perfect vocal variety, complementary body languages, amazing stage utilization, keeping in mind the vocal variety part for the third person, the couple of grammatical errors. I'm sure that you will carry your own laptop bag into the world of Toastmasters. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Malika. So for Toastmaster Bala, my feedback to him would be that he has an incredibly nice deep voice, which I heard when he got into the room and he was interacting. None of us really experienced that depth of voice anywhere in his speech. So that's if he wants to take his speech a couple of notches higher, he needs to get comfortable using his deep voice. So over to the next speech. The next speech was by Jesna, and the evaluator was DTM Susan Matthews. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Akash, and good evening, everyone, once again. Lovely to be back to Technopark Toastmasters again. Light at the end of the tunnel, a poignant story which personally made me feel about how fortunate I am and how much help is required by the people around us. So hats off to you, Toastmaster Jasna, for that wonderful speech. I thought the message was great. And I think you're a very good storyteller. Your speech had all the elements of a good story, the setting, the characters, the theme. And your presentation also was very good. You had the right expressions. You had vocal variety, body language. And what I especially liked was your very conversational type of, your conversational style of speaking. You literally took us inside the hospital, and I could actually see the children lying there, tilted with the cannulas in their hand. It was that you painted the picture really well. So hats off to you for that. Now, I understood your message as, you were telling us that there were many unfortunate people in a tunnel, and you wanted us to be the light in that tunnel. So I feel that you 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 described the tunnel really well. But how can we be the light? I think that was one place where you could have given us more information. So I felt that this is one thing that you could have really researched on. A lot of research on how we can help these people could have been presented. For example, you could have interviewed some philanthropist, who usually does this kind of charity activity. And you could have given us some tips from that regarding how we can help these children. Or you could have spoken to a few companies within Technopark itself. There might be people who are doing this as a part of their CSR activity. So you could have given us some tips on how we can together, within Technopark itself, how we can, as a company, how we can help these children. You did mention crowdfunding, but I thought you could have done more research on that. And there are a lot of internet activities also. In the internet also, we see a lot of initiatives like this to help children. So maybe you could have done a little research on that and seen what are the ways in which we can effectively help these people. So I feel that a little more research on how we can help these people would have, could have helped you to give us clear action items, clear steps that we can take to really be the light in the tunnel. So all in all, I would say it was a wonderful speech, a great message, great delivery, wonderful storytelling. What could have made it better was more research into how we can be the light at the end of the tunnel, how we can help these people. So a little more research on that and more clear, actionable steps on how we can help these people would have taken your speech to the next step. So all the very best to you, Toastmaster Jasna, and it's back to the general evaluator.
Thank you. So, Toastmaster Jasna, my feedback for you is with respect to your overall speech, we spent quite a lot of time at that situation at RCC. I think about 80% of the time was spent there. That was really well constructed. We could picture it, but I think the objective of your speech was how can you be the light at the end of the tunnel? That emotional hook, I didn't quite feel it. I wanted to feel it. I wanted to be there for you, but you did not persuade me. I did not feel, okay, whatever, next, right? You have a very incredible, strong command over the language, but I think your pausing could have been a little bit better, right? Without it, you sometimes tend to not land the point. When you land the point, you go over to the next one. So as a listener, we are like not really sure what was spoken. And the last point was that you tend to look outside, look down. I don't know, you did not make eye contact with me. You're looking at Rose quite a bit, looking at him quite a bit. Clearly, you want to see friendly faces, but in order to improve your impact, you must scan the room and hold it there, and you should not be, have any reason not to do that. So that's pretty much great speech there. So the next speech was from Chris. Start owning, start giving. The evaluator is Toastmaster Maria. So Maria, if you're there.
Am I audible?
Yes, audible.
But unfortunately, you're not audible. I can't hear a thing. I'm just, lip reading from here. Maria.
Okay, Maria, you can go now.
Maria, you want to rejoin or?
I think it has got something to. One second.
Can you hear
rejoin.
us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Maria? Online?
Yes.
I think she
I
can't
think
hear
going to
us.
rejoin. Maybe you can.
Should we go to skip to the next speaker? Yes. Okay, so to evaluate the next speaker, we have evaluator Toastmaster Banas. She'll be evaluating Toastmaster Justin.
How good is your English? Quite an informational speech it was. It was humorous, which I was not expecting from Justin, but it was quite humorous, informational, relatable, and it had a lot of points that we can take home today. For us to improve in our English usages, and as he said, pronunciations. He met the objective of the speech, but I want to give him few points of improvements, which goes, there were no tone variations. When he said, no, when he was like narrating someone saying, no more, then it was not sounding like that someone died and then we saw he's no more. It was like very monotonous. It should be, there was no emotion. And then when he understood his mistake, then the correcting part was also not different from what he said at first. It was like, no, what I meant was, it wasn't that one. It should be, no. What I meant was, it should be something like that. So that the tone variation was something that you can improve with. And there were a few sentences which were incomplete. I spotted few sentences where the sentences were ended with right, okay, but not the full sentence was spoken. He was talking in a flow. He had a lot to say, lot to explain, which made him, I believe, to jump from one statement to another statement. And he exceeded the time limit. So we should be aware of the time limit when we are delivering the speech. And with these 3 points, I believe if you improve on these 3 points, you will be much better.
So Justin, like Tanas said, you were a very surprising speaker today. Clearly, you're incredibly comfortable with giving a speech. And like you rightly said, there is quite a bit of a journey that you will have to go through to improve your English. You made a point that I went to an English medium school and I also come to Toastmasters, and yet my English probably is not improving what I want to. In a situation like this, we need to, quite honestly, as humans or as general people, we love to stay, at par with everybody else, but that's really going to stand against you in terms of growth. If you want to improve your pronunciation, you need to practice it on your own. Even you have to take risks and you have to try and enact the person you want to be, fake till you make it. So with respect to your speech, you were very comfortable. You had made quite a few mistakes, but you cruised through it. You didn't let it stop you. You were quite stable. You took a breath and you moved ahead. That was pretty good considering that you are at the early stages. Like Tanas said, you have a lot of room with respect to your speed and your tone and your entire modulation. You kept the entire speech conversational, which is good. For some people, that's hard. But for you to challenge yourself, you have to get into the dramatic mode, right? And you have to try and do some stuff with your voice to see how it works. Like if you don't test it out, you will not know if it is something that you're comfortable with or if it's your strength. Now, a couple of areas of improvement. Your stage movement. We are trapped by this camera, but there are only 4 people watching and 2 of them are us, right? But we are forced to stand here. I wish you would have moved a little bit more. Secondly, you had itched your ear for about 30 seconds, right? It's quite, it's quite important to be and to have awareness of your own body language. I think you were really in the flow and you were enjoying talking, but do not forget that we can see you. And you had a lot of points with respect to the structure of your speech. That was a great structure, but you had a lot of points. I'm not sure if I should focus on 5 words a day or if I should download Kindle, or I'm not sure what the takeaway was with pronunciation, but too many takeaways kind of take the value out of the takeaway. So great job. So Maria, can you hear us?
Yes.
Right. So to evaluate Toastmaster Chris, we have Maria.
Thank you. When you give your love, you get to leverage meaningful relationship. Toastmaster Chris, statutory warning. I hope I used the financial terms correctly. That was a thorough lesson on the finances of life, the profits, the losses, the investment, everything. The profit zenith of your speech was the rip tickling introduction when you said, stop giving, stop owning, and start giving. And then you immediately said, I'm sorry, stop owning money and give me some money. And we all started laughing because we thought it was going to be a profound message, and immediately you lightened the mood. The vocal variety, when you said the introduction part also, you started with a loud voice echoing through the room, and then you lowered your voice and said, stop owning money, give me some money. So that conveyed the emotion in there. And when you said, when you had complimentary body language, when you immediately turned to the board and you said, you know, when my teacher was writing and you asked GIVING. Any smart listeners in the audience? That was audience interaction. So you hit 3 birds with a single stone. You had an audience interaction question, you had an amazing body language, and the vocal variety. Single stone, 3 things. You hooked the audience with amazing analogy when you said the pipe, the upstream, the downstream, and when there is a blockage in the upstream, what happens? My immediate thought was call the plumber. What else should I do? There is a blockage. I'm not getting water. Call the plumber. Never in my wildest dreams did I realize that a blockage in a pipe could be so profound that it overflows and you get to share with everyone. That was a wonderful take on a blockage. So next time I have a pipe block, I'm going to think of the blockage in a good way. Now, through the lens of an evaluator, let me give you a few tips to enhance the speech. Toastmaster Chris, you had a couple of points where the vocal variety was a little flat, especially when you wanted to convey something deep as a blockage. You could have lowered a voice. It could have been a little more husky. You get to share just to drive the point in. And, you had so and too many times you kept saying now, so, now. So it's like those pebbles that disrupt the flow of your speech. Your speech was a smooth flow of ideas, but when you had so's and now's, it was disruptive. And the conclusion, I would suggest if you could conclude it with, when you can tie it back to your introduction. You started off with the financial quote. You could have ended on in a financial quote, but in a philosophical manner. When you start giving your love, you leverage meaningful relationship. In a heartbeat, Toastmaster Chris, you had amazing vocal variety, amazing body language. You did justice to your project speech, amazing introduction, keeping in mind the vocal varieties here and there, the couple of so's and now's, the crutch words. I'm sure you're going to do a wonderful job sharing your knowledge within Toastmaster community. Over to you.
Thank you for that excellent evaluation, Maria. So, Chris is my friend. We have some roots in Africa, and to be good at, and I know for a fact that he is focused on really improving himself. But Chris, I doubt, like I'm not sure if your rehearsal was up to the mark. I'm not sure how much you practiced or if you had made somebody else listen to your speech. I'm not sure. So I do believe that there were a few hiccups, especially in the whole communication of the meaning. Sounds like a first draft or a second draft. I personally work in finance, and for me, that speech was horrifying. Like it was a horror story. Please do not give your money without properly analyzing who you are giving it to. Not because Chris said it. Now, Chris, areas of improvement for you. You have a very strong, thick accent. Money, collect, right? I recognize this because we have the same accent back in Nigeria. But if you really want to maximize your skill, you must say it in a way the other person would associate it well, right? Also, the entire speech, the argument that you were making was that, hey, owners keep the pipe blocked, givers keep the transactions moving. Owners, people who hold money, the wealthy not doing much, are givers, investors. it was a little unclear, and I wasn't sure what was the final takeaway for me. What should I do? I should give my money? What is in it for me? I'm not sure. So with that, those are my areas of improvement. You also said God made you so that you can share your love. You can share your love with Him. I wasn't sure what was the relevance there. So, top points from my side: practice more, check the flow of ideas a little bit better, and you must. The next speech, you must make someone else listen to it and take that feedback. So you're my friend. That's why it's all constructive. The next speech evaluation is by Maria, Toastmaster Shruti's evaluation. Maria, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, go for it.
Toastmaster Shruti, if opportunity does not knock, you build a door. And that's exactly what you have been trying to do. But unfortunately, somewhere that was falling short in your speech. That was a well draped sari of ideas, a Banarasi sari, in fact. The beautiful gems in your sari was the introduction when you said hello. And when you got to know you're going to be a flower girl, we were all very happy. We want to know what is the story. And since the title was Flower Girl, we assumed that, yeah, she got an opportunity to be a flower girl. And we are all happy for you. The amazing body language when you said, when I think of flower girl, it's a bit twisted. Yes, we all thought, what could be so twisted about a flower girl? I mean, it's so pleasant, right? You had amazing vocal variety, amazing body language, and was I loved the way you said, when I get to go for a client dinner, I get a dinner. Wow. We are also very happy. The dinner part is very tempting, you know. So you were a word wizard tonight. Honest, command of language, stand a chance, hold your horses, calm my voices, shackles of mediocrity, and so on and so forth. It was like listening to Shashi Tharoor himself in a female counterpart. So that was amazing choice of words and humor shower. When you said, I don't want to be a flower girl, I don't want to be a flower auntie. But I didn't tell this to my manager. I calmed my voices. I told this to myself. That was a delightful humor shower there. Now, Toastmaster Shruti, what can we do to improve the speeches? I noticed that when you had the hostel warden in your speech and you were having conversation, you and your friend and the hostel warden, you could have switched places just to show who is who, just the placement of the hostel warden. Because I felt that you were at the hostel warden's place and then you were at the same place as Shruti. So that could have been avoided. A couple of grammatical errors, one of them being understanding that what my capability. Instead, it could have been rephrased as, now they slowly started to understand what my capability is or was. Pauses. Toastmaster Shruti, there were ample pauses in your in your speech, but somewhere they were not there. So, in a half sari drape, you had amazing vocal variety, amazing body language. You did justice to your project. Choice of words amazing, and humor shower, no words for it. Keeping in mind the couple of grammatical errors, the placement of your characters, and the pauses. I'm sure nobody is going to snatch away that flower called Toastmasters from you. You're going to shine your way through this world. Thank you so much. Over to you.
For evaluation once again. Thank you, Toastmaster Maria. So, Shruti, what an incredible speech today. Really enjoyed it. If someone called you the flower girl, that's a tag that's apt for you. I loved how you showed up, your outfit, the flower, the props, excellent. Your entire stage movement was very good. Certain parts of your speech, like she said, could improve pausing, but most of it had great pausing. Towards the end, I think you were a little pressed on time. Maybe you just ran through it, but that was the area where the key takeaway was. I loved how you did the 2C method, the communication collaboration, that was really good. Essentially, the entire message was empty mouths don't get fed. That's one of my favorite quotes. I think you rehearsed the speech really well. And maybe the speech that came out here is 99% whatever you rehearsed. Somewhere I heard that you shouldn't rehearse too many times because that takes a little bit of the magic away. So keep that in mind. I think you're gonna be an excellent speaker in the future. So kudos to you. So that's done with all the speech evaluations. can I go ahead with my general report? Okay, so this is my second time at Technopark Toastmasters, and it's Technopark Toastmasters where we've got 10,000s of people within 5 kilometer radius. I personally know them, and I am still shocked that we only have so many people in this conference room. So that's number one. Number two, we did not start on time, right? We did not start on time today when Jasna is the president. We did not start on time when Dave was the president, right? I think it's a culture that we've accepted that it's going to be like this, which is okay. For me, I really enjoyed the chaos and it was quite entertaining for me. But now for someone busy who needs to leave, I think value is cut short. Maybe as a trial, you must aim for 2 meetings where you're gonna start on time, you're gonna have all the roles given out. The chaos helped me because I got to be general evaluator. So the TMOD, fantastic job. You were dressed for the role, you were well prepared for the role, you had really relevant key examples, persistence, perseverance. The first one? I can't remember. Consistency. It's drilled in. Sorry, it was not peace, so I couldn't remember. So very relevant message from the president. I loved when she said that I jump at every opportunity. I love that about you. Great TMOD. And I think the speakers, everybody put in a lot of work and effort today. That's pretty good. I'm very happy to be part of a speakathon. Nothing much. I think evaluators did a good job. So that's it from my side. So well done.
Thank you. And now we have the, very interesting session. Personally, it is very interesting for me. So it is a quiz session. So I invite Toastmaster Rosie for that. So she is also a student of Kerala University, and she is ready to accept any challenges coming her way. So Toastmaster Rosie, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. This session is the most interesting quiz session. I want to test how listening it is. I'll start with the first question. Who was that speaker?
Sorry?
That speaker of the day.
Third speaker?
Yeah.
Chris.
And what was the topic?
Stop owning studying.
How come?
Don't block the pipe.
Just tell the name so that they get the first.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. What was the closing quote from Toastmaster Shoti? No, I remember. Every flower blooms in its own time. So will you if you keep on trying.
No points still. Bharati is also there. Bharati.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the topic for the Toastmaster Bala speech?
Mentor, mentee. The mentee's experience about is being mentee.
The laptop back.
Yeah, that is the title.
Title.
That is the title.
The title was
Mentee.
And then what career did he pursue?
Business development.
Sales.
BDM.
BBA?
BDM. Business development.
And what masters was he?
MBA.
In the Toastmaster Jasna's speech, she mentioned the number of beds that were
They
43.
43. 43.
I said first 43.
Yeah, 43. In Toastmasters Justin's speech, she said how many vocabularies are you supposed to?
5,000.
Let's tell the name.
See, that was confusing.
Tell the name.
You tell the name first.
Then we will call.
All the
Okay.
On Toastmasters Chris' speech, she said there is two types of people.
the givers and
Owners.
Yeah, give us the comments. That's all I had. I dived into the speeches and just running away, so not able to take much. That's all I had. Thank you for your
Session. So now we have three Toastmasters here, which they were just sitting and listening to the speeches. So let us give them a small task. So there is no table topics as such, but I would like to ask 3 questions to them. So Toastmaster Aarti, first.
Yes.
Okay, so Toastmaster Aarti, today's we were talking about theme of the day. So what is your take about it?
All right, I was just thinking that I should talk about it because habit stacking is something that I have heard and I have successfully implemented it. I tried it on my husband. Okay, so I gave him the task that in the evenings he takes his evening bath, and I told him this concept of habit stacking and told him as soon as you take your bath, you go to the puja place and light the lamp. So I told him the concept of stacking, take a bath and do the prayers. Now what happens is every day at 6:30, the light in front of the puja gets lit. Today he's late, so it is not lit up yet, but a wonderful concept. He is following it diligently. I successfully delegated that task from myself by stacking it onto his bath tank. So I am a great believer in that concept. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aarti. So this is more about habit stacking, not just that, how to delegate your tasks to others. That's also important, please note. Now we have Toastmaster Anu. He's looking at Anu. I'm so sorry, Shiv Kumar. Please. So my question to you is the same topic. So let's talk about the theme of the day, which is the habit stacking. What is your take about it?
So habits is the toughest thing for me to implement. I didn't have any habits till like 1 year back. Last 1 year I have started the same concept without knowing its name, that it is habit stacking, how I understood that. I cannot read one page book. Then you might ask, how did I complete engineering? That's Anna University. They give us grace marks. So this, I cannot read even a page concentrated. That's my problem. And also so why don't I listen instead of reading? So I started going to gym. You might ask why going to gym for reading a book. So I started doing the gym, and during that time I have nothing to do. I forcefully listened to an audiobook initially. Then it became a habit. Now I cannot listen to the music that they play. I can only hear audiobooks. So last year I was able to complete some 17 books completely and some 8 books incomplete, halfway, because I didn't like them. So this was useful for me, and I'm glad that you gave that information to me.
Thank you. So, see, this is how we can all learn what are different ways of habit stacking. So we have Subin. Please, your opinion about it.
Now, just ask them to poll as well. There's a link I've shared in the group.
Okay, so we have a link which is shared for best speaker,
Yeah.
best role players, etc. So please do the polling. Yeah.
I was really amazed to hear about Justine talking about the 75 hard. I hadn't heard about it earlier. My thought or what I've heard before is that to make something as a habit, you need to follow it for 21 days. But hearing 75, I think that's going to be too tough. No wonder we are stuck from November onwards in that same journey. I mean, it was very informational, and what a great evening to be spending over here. I mean, the entire speakers, right? Great message from Jasna. Thank you. I mean, after all the speeches, to top it off, we had good stand-up from, I would say, Justin and Flower Girl. Shruti. So that name is going to stick with you, Shruti, for sure. Thank you.
So I think now we come to an end. I hope you all did the poll. Now, sorry, yeah, so I am ending my session by giving one more point on this. So there is a famous book called Atomic Habits, which is written by James Clear. So we were discussing with Mr. Akash, and it was Mr. Akash, he just read that book. So he mentioned how to get good habits and be a better person 1% every day. So it's not that we do everything together and be the best person, but take it simple, slow, and build it gradually. And he used habit stacking as a method to build habits in your life. I hope everybody will continue it. I'm really happy that I could talk about this today, because I feel that whatever I know about such things should pass to others also. So thank you so much. Glad that I was your Toastmaster of the day today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. That was a wonderful topic, and I'm sure everybody must have learned about habit stacking by now. I was thinking how to conclude the day wherein Susan ma'am put the thing into my lap. I saw Dave's red card and I didn't, I ran through my speech and I finished it off. So the points that she mentioned, I'd just like to conclude with that. RCC needs a lot of funds. So there is something called emergency funds that they're looking for. So if any of your companies can contribute, please do that. We are already in discussion with some companies. The second point is they need funds for many equipments. Infusion pump was just one example, but they need funds for many other things as well. The third point is they already have accounts wherein foreign funds can be received. So if any of your clients, and I know many clients actually come to me saying, how can we help? If any of your clients are interested to give the funding, I already have the details for that particular thing, so you can also contribute to that. The fourth thing that I mentioned, they need the whole walls to be repainted, and the fifth thing is air conditioning. So if this thing works out like we are planning, maybe we will also call in you guys, because anyway the Technopark Toastmasters is there, we'll try to call in you guys as well, so that all of us together can help to make some butterflies and trees and cartoon characters on their walls, so that the kids have a good dream when they go to sleep. Yes. And there was one more point, the air conditioning. So when we checked, the air conditioning is also something that they really require. So if any of you all have any CSR activities, please contact your companies and see how you can help. I have a full-fledged PowerPoint with me with all these details, which I'll be sharing after this meeting into it. Thank you very much, and let me share the results for today. Best speaker for today, Shruti, the flower girl. Best balancer for today, Maria. Congrats, Maria. Okay. Best role player is Houston, our Toastmaster. Best of tag is Dave. Best of tag is Dave. Congrats, Dave. And best listener was also Dave. Congrats, Dave. Thank you very much for everyone who joined. Need a photo here. If I adjourn the meeting. So thank you very much for everyone who joined today. I adjourn the meeting on 42. Thank you. 24, sorry, Mari.
We'll take a picture. Arati, can turn on your video. Arati, can you turn on your video?
Yes.
I think Arati, we can take a picture. So that Arati also comes. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm here.
Who is taking the picture?
Saras, can you wait a minute?
Why did you remove that flower? It was just for the speech, and I had so many glances while I was coming to him. I was like, who is this? What is she doing? That's pretty.
It was nice. Don't overthink.
Yeah, I don't know.
I told you, don't overthink.
So everyone thought it's about marriage. I also thought that when you told flower, it will be about marriage and you.
It was surprising how you presented it.
So you student just now, you used to pick these girls right for the event.
Huh?
You when you organize event, so you can easily
Yeah,
relate.
that's what, yeah.
So I thought that after some time this will end, like once I'm married, a mother, like an auntie, so I thought that this will end. So
I think you have a girl, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Only for Anasi we have to give some space now. Works.
If it's too much of trouble, I'll log off. You take a physical class. It's okay.
Just a second, just a second.
Wait a second.
Okay.
All right.